My husband treated me like a ghost until the rest of the world started treating him like a total stranger. I had stopped asking Mark to go out for my birthday because 3 years in a row he hit a wall at the office, leaving me sitting at the ledger, clutching a reservation for 2 and eating for 1. But this year he actually showed up. No apology, just a, let's get this over with, look. As he loosened his tie, we barely sat down before Marcus, the head server, came sprinting over with a massive grin. Maya, no way, Marcus beamed, then looked at Mark with a confused, polite nod. Oh, wow, you finally did it. You actually brought a date. Mark stiffened and said, I'm her. But Marcus was already waving over the hostess. Hey, Elena, look. Maya finally moved on. No more working husband stories tonight. Elena walked over, looking Mark up and down like he was a trophy about time. Honey, you deserve a guy who actually knows what day it is. Is this the neighbor you mentioned, the one who helped you jumpstart your car when your husband forgot to fix the battery? Mark's face went from annoyed to pale. I'm not the neighbor, he muttered, but they weren't listening. The bartender Jax walked by and slammed a top-shelf bourbon on the table on the house for the new guy. Any man who rescues the loneliest lady of Table 9 is a hero in my book. 3 years of watching her cry into her appetizers was killing the vibe, man. The restaurant felt smaller, and Mark looked at me, his eyes searching for a lie, but I just looked at the wine list. Maya, Mark whispered, his voice cracking. What is this loneliest lady? I didn't answer because I didn't have to. Lydia, the floor manager, came by and patted Mark's shoulder. Take good care of her, sir, last year. She sat here until closing, waiting for a guy who never even called. She even had a gift wrapped on the table. A vintage watch, and she ended up giving it to the busboy because she couldn't stand to take it home. Mark looked at his bare wrist, the same wrist I'd bought that watch for. I am her husband. Mark finally barked out loud enough to make the neighboring table turn. I am Mark. The silence that followed was deafening. Marcus. The server dropped his professional mask and his smile curdled. You are Mark, the guy who was stuck in a meeting during her promotion dinner. The guy who let her sit here through 2 anniversaries and 3 birthdays alone. Mark tried to find his boss voice, but it was gone. I have a demanding career, he said. But Marcus snapped back, so do we? But we managed to remember her name. We managed to check on her when she was sobbing in the lobby. We know her favorite steak, her favorite wine, and the exact moment she finally stopped looking at the door, expecting you to walk through it. Lydia looked at me, then back at Mark. We honestly thought he was a character she made up to keep people from hitting on her. We didn't think a real human being could be that cold. Mark looked around the room and saw the pity in the server's eyes and the judgment from the couple at the next table. But mostly he saw me for the first time in years. He wasn't looking at his phone. He was looking at the woman he had abandoned while sitting right next to her. Maya, he choked out. I didn't realize it was that bad. I took a sip of my water and finally looked him in the eye. It wasn't bad, Mark, I said softly. It was empty. And the funny thing is, I felt less alone when you weren't here. The check came before the appetizers did, and Mark didn't even argue. He just paid and walked out into the cold wind, finally realizing that showing up is the easy part. Staying present